Hi everyone, my name is Sasha and today I'm gonna make soil mixes for my plants. Previously I was just using packaged soil mixes, but my plants started to shine after I repotted them in my own mix. In this video I'm going to share several soil mixes. The universal soil potting recipe, the recipe for philodendron, for monstera and your lovely succulents. I use several main ingredients for my potting soil mix. First, coco coir, which is a great base that holds water pretty well. Another thing I have here is perlite to improve drainage. Then I have sand for the same purposes, and vermiculite to retain moisture and reduce soil compaction. Vermiculite is a good addition to most soil mixes except for succulents ones. Finally, I've got some compost to boost the growth of my greenies. For compost, you can use worm casting, homemade compost or mushroom compost. And the last thing I got here is a pelleted fertilizer, just to give my greenies a little bit more nutrients. Now that seems like quite a lot of separate ingredients to buy. Is it worth it? My answer is yes. Making the right houseplant soil mix is a good way to spend your time and money because it prevents future troubles with your plants. First, they are cheaper. It might come as a surprise, but buying pre-made soil mixes is more expensive. If you have several different types of plants, you'll need to buy different soil mixes, which will cost you $1. If you are soil mixing on your own, the only thing you need to do is to change proportions of the ingredients. Next, you can control all the ingredients. Sadly, many pre-made mixes have lots of chemicals and additives that may not work very well for your greenies. If you make a potting mix on your own, you can be sure you have the highest quality organic potting mix. Finally, it's just a fun thing to do. Let's get started. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you how I do my general purposes DIY soil mix for indoor plants. I take 1 bucket or 10 quarts of coconut coir as a base, then I mix in 1/2 bucket or 5 quarts of perlite to get the drainage done. Now let's add the same amount of vermiculite and the same 1/2 bucket 5 quarts of compost. Finally, I add 2 cups of sand and 2 cups of fertilizer. Now I just mix it all thoroughly and that's all. Now, while this mix will fit most plants, if you want to be a true pro gardener like me and you just love your monsteras, succulents and philodendrons, you can make a special mix for them. Now, monsteras like a well-aerated soil, so we'll have to add a few more things to make them thrive. What you'll need is 25% orchid bark, 20% of coconut coir, 25% perlite, 10% activated charcoal, and 10% worm casting or another compost. Again, it just mix everything thoroughly and I'm done. Now for philodendron, we'll need all the same ingredients but with a bit different proportions. Take 25% orchid bark, 25% coconut coir, 25% perlite, 10% worm casting or other compost, and 5% activated charcoal. Mix it all and that's all. For succulents, you'll need 2 parts sand, 2 parts potting soil, and 1 part of perlite. Mix it all and you're done. Now, one of the questions I often get asked is whether I'd recommend using outdoor gardening soil for indoor plants. The short answer is no. Gardening soil isn't balanced enough for your indoor greenies, and is usually too heavy and not well draining. So the best thing to do to get your plants thriving is to prepare indoor potting mix. Another frequently asked question is about the difference between potting soil and potting mix. The basic difference is that potting soil, or rather garden soil, contains actual soil, dirt, minerals, and organic matter. It's also not sterile and can contain various pathogens. Potting mixes, on the contrary, are soilless, sterile, and consist of key ingredients like peat moss, bark, and so on. I heavily recommend not to use garden soil for any plants in containers, whether they are indoors or outdoors. Always use a soilless potting mix. That's all for today. For beginners, I recommend using the universal potting soil mix for most of your plants, except for succulents. If you want to create the best conditions for your favorite greenies, follow the advanced recipes like ones for philodendron or for Monstera. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I would love to hear about your own experience of soil mixing, because you know there is always more to learn. Finally, you can leave your email in the comments to get the top-notch visual soil mixing guide from PlantIn botanist. Hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified about new plant care videos. See you soon!